I want to talk to you just for a few minutes about resilience planning, why we do it, what we're doing, how we're going about it, what we've learnt on the way. Auckland's preparedness, according to a recent Colmar Brunton poll, showed that we're not all that flash compared to the rest of the country. So during the next couple of minutes, I just want to talk to you about why do we actually need to do some planning with the community. Generally, individuals and communities are the first responders. We've got the police, we've got the fire brigade, we've got the ambulance, but generally, the community are going to be the first responders to any emergency, whether it's someone falling off a roof or getting cut or their house catching fire. So we want to work with communities to develop a little bit more resilience. Now, if you look at the progress of any sort of emergency and event, before the emergency services or the agencies get there, the community are on their own. And traditionally, civil defence has been an agency-driven, top-down organisation that looks after fixing the infrastructure. Now, that's all very well to get all the roads and the bridges and get the electricity back on and the phones working. That's all very well. But while they get on and do that, the community are left on their own. So before an event, there's some key things that we're really engaged with. And our success has been around working with existing networks through contacts, relationships, and local leadership. And we've taken on a project, a 5-year project, to get resilience plans into every community in Auckland by the year 2016. We started a couple of years ago, just over 2 years ago. We've got 41 plans in place, covering about 101 or 102 neighbourhoods. So we've got a wee way to go. So how do we do that? What are we trying to actually do? Well, one of the most effective ways of dealing with building resilience in communities is working with existing networks. Now, we've got networks, we've got police, fire, St John's, health, we've got neighbourhood support, Rotary clubs, Lions clubs, sports clubs, church groups. There's a whole range of groups within the community that already have these networks, and what we're trying to do is utilise those networks and work with them so that we can expand the networks and join other networks together. And we're finding that we're connecting networks that we didn't even know existed. So why work with communities? Well, as I said before, communities are the first responders. They're there before anything else happens. They will normally be there to help try to rescue someone or give them some first aid. In this case, this is an incident where the community got together to rescue some people trapped up a tree. And the community are normally the first ones that will provide any assistance and help to people that have been affected by an incident. So what do the local communities need? Well, first of all, they need a little bit of planning and organisation around being prepared themselves. They need to have enough water, they need to have enough food for about 3 days, because we know that from traditional incidents that we've had in New Zealand and across the world, if we look at the Queensland floods, if we look at the Victorian bushfires, communities really are left on their own or can be left on their own for up to 3 days. So they have to look after themselves. So we have to provide communities with a bit of education. So we start with individuals. So what do communities need in a civil defence response? Well, they need to be able to connect with civil defence. We need to be able to give them information so that they can make valued decisions. And they need some knowledge of what CDM is doing. If you take the tornado that went through Hobsonville, communities need to know what we're doing so that they can make good decisions. First thing we do with communities is we start talking to them about the sorts of hazards that can affect the community. And they're wide and varied, as you can see. And you've all probably experienced over the last couple of years the sorts of things that have happened to Auckland and New Zealand. We've had a couple of major earthquakes in Christchurch, and we're still seeing the effects of that. So we talk to communities about what affects them. They generally tell us these are the priorities as far as those hazards are concerned, and that starts the basis of the plan. So we support communities also by providing all sorts of information. So through our website, aucklandcivildefence.org.nz, we can provide a lot of electronic information. So what does a community response plan look like? Basically, we've divided Auckland up into about 102 communities, and within that there's a whole lot of neighbourhoods. So what do individuals in a community need to know? Three things really that we want individuals to be able to know and react to, and that is, how do I get warned if there is an emergency? What do you want me to do? In other words, listen to your radio or get yourself prepared to evacuate. And the third thing is, where do I evacuate to if I need to leave my home? So if we can get those three things through to a community, we're doing pretty well. Out of the plan comes what we call a flyer, and you'll see some examples on the table over there of a flyer. And this flyer gives the community those three things. How do I get warned? What do you want me to do? And where do you want me to go? So what have we got from 2 years of work? We're helping the community prepare. We've got communication going backwards and forwards with the community. We've improved our networking ability. We've certainly increased the community leadership, and we found that they've standing up and doing a lot of this work. We're improving safety and well-being. It helps to decrease the amount of CDM work in the future, and we can get clearer situational awareness. So community response plans, here's just an example with open days, emergency response groups actually exercising, doing some training, and also in the middle there's a plan signing, that's the Whangaparaoa one being signed. Public education, we continue to follow up and support what we're doing with public education. So what have we learned? Well, you need to engage with the community and go as fast or as slow as they want. That was one thing that we really have learned. The other thing is we need to give clear messages backwards and forwards to groups. We need to improve our communication links. We have to provide support and training to keep the plan going and make the community more resilient. Exercising the plan is an annual event. We have to maintain those contacts and relationships. And we also have to just build that continuous improvement into the plan. And also the other thing we've learned is coming here today. I've learned a lot today about networks. So where do we want Auckland to be? Well, we want them to be resilient and adaptive. So that's our vision for the future. Have you got 3 days water supply at home? Have you got 3 days food? Have you got a plan? Thank you.